Welcome back to Homeschooling Mama. Well, I have something I'd like to share with you today. Woo! Well, as you all know, I'm very involved. If you haven't watched my other videos, I'll let you know now. But in case you have, you already know this. I'm very involved in my girls' college courses at our local community college. They are doing dual credit, and they're taking one class together and one class separately, and I'm highly involved in it. I look at everything, I oversee everything, I grade everything. I am a part of their learning. I'm watching things with them, I'm discussing things with them. I have a daughter who's taking economics, and I'm doing the budget constraints with her to make sure she got a good understanding with it, going over elasticity with her. So I'm really teaching these classes that they are um, taking, and I have experienced something that I want you to be aware of, and you probably experienced, and we all may experience. How do you decide when it's okay to let your children fail, to let your children bump their heads, to let them fall and learn things the hard way? And I have been dealing with this, right? So you guys know, if you see my other videos about how did my children do on their college entrance exam, I told you one of my daughters, she did very well, but she didn't follow instructions like I told her to. So even though she did very well, they had to dock her and couldn't let her pass it because they told you, if you don't do this one instruction, no matter how good you do, we can't pass you on it. So she did well enough to pass, and she scored very high on it, and they even gave her points for it, which they normally wouldn't do, but they had to dock her because she didn't follow the instructions. So we made her go back and take that part of the test again, and she had to pay for it out of her own money because she didn't listen. Not only did she not listen to her parents, she didn't follow the instructions on the test. So we had to let her learn something the hard way. Well, love this girl. She's brilliant. She's smart. But you know, you got to figure out when to let them fall and when to not let them. Now, I'm investing a lot into their college courses, exerting a lot of energy. My family's paying for their classes, but it's taking a lot for us to make sure that they're doing well in their college courses, and the whole family is behind them, supporting them and taking on extra to make sure that they're able to do the things that they need to do. Well, my daughter kept saying, you know, they're acing every test. They think they got like a 97, a 96, 98 once or twice each, but for the most part they get hundreds on everything, including their test. And she's like, you know, I'm ready to take the test. And I'm like, when is the test? It's Saturday. It's Tuesday. Why are you trying to take the test now? Did you read your chapters? Yes. Well, every day I make them write index cards from the books, from and take notes and do their vocabulary, and every day they have to spend time quizzing each other in every class on all their notes. I said, well, sweetie, have you well, yeah, I spent 2 days going over my notes. I don't think you've gone over it enough. You still got a lot that you need to learn. And so every week I found that she's hyped up because she's like, I'm getting hundreds. This is easy. No, baby girl, it's not easy. You got somebody who's behind your back making sure you getting them A's. I'm that wind beneath your wind. Don't get it twisted, right? Don't think that you're more than what you are, because you're doing better. You're doing better because you got a mother who's making sure and a father who's making sure. And don't compare yourself to the other people in the class, because these people are married with children and full-time jobs. All your full-time job is school. And yeah, you may have a chore, but you're not even doing that right away. You got your sisters and brothers helping you out because your classes are taking too much. So I'm like, you know, do what I'm telling you to do. I'm giving you the wisdom. If the test isn't until Saturday, you know, you may take it Friday. That would be the earliest I would want you to take it. But take all the time that you're given for a test to make sure you got it and you can pass it. Now, online, these are all open book tests. You got an hour, sometimes 2 hours, and the quiz may only be 12 questions. Take the time to make sure your answers are correct. And so I'm going through this with her, and I'm fighting her on this every week. She thinks, you know, by Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm ready. Because, you know, on the weekend, I got them already reading their chapters, getting ready for the next thing, going over the reviews. So I'm like, no, sweetie, wait. And I got tired of trying to tell her every week, no, 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 explaining to her every week why. trying to give her my wisdom, saying, baby, listen. So I went ahead one week and said, you know what? Go ahead. It's Tuesday. Take the test. You think you got it? You sure you got it? All right, there you go. And she took the test, and y'all, she bombed the test. She did not do good on the test at all. I think, well, I'm not going to tell you what she did because she might get a little upset with me, but believe me, it wasn't what she wanted, and she did not like it. She was really upset about it. Now, I struggled with should I do that or not? And here's why I struggled. Well, I'm putting in all this effort. We're banking on some of these academic scholarships, boo. So, you know, an A is much better to me than a B or a C. And we're early in the year is what I'm thinking. So you need to keep in the semester. So you need to keep that A up high, because you got a lot of big things that's due by the end of the semester. That's 40% of your grade, or you know, otherwise. And so we want to make sure that you have room. That on something that's 40% of your grade, if you don't nail it, you've got room. Your grade is up there. It can balance it out, and you can still be up there. But she didn't want to listen to me. But that's something that I had to be, I had to think about. Do I want her to bomb this test? What percentage of this is going to be on her grade? How is this going to affect things in the long run? I also had to think about it because, you know, we are going for the academic scholarship. How would that affect that if I'm letting her bomb things? I'm also thinking about, you know, because her GPA, and we're early in the year at that time. But I'm also thinking about the fact that my family is investing in this. We're not only investing financially, but everybody in the family is pulling together to do what needs to be done so our daughters could be successful at this. So anytime my husband has to go to work and something is coming out of his pocket, I'm watching it. I'm guarding it, because I want to make sure that his money is being used in the most effective and the most efficient way as possible. Because the way I look at it is that every dollar that goes out and that's wasted, that's an hour or however much time it's going to take my husband to be away from my family. So my goal is to have him at home with us as much as possible. So I'm making sure his dollars go right. And I don't want him spending this money to pay for my kids to take these college courses, and then they're not making the most out of it that they should be, because I have 3 more behind these girls that need to go to college next. And so I'm thinking about all of this. Plus, I'm thinking I'm putting a lot into this. I don't want my time being wasted. No, you're going to listen to me and do what I'm telling you to do, right? But those things were hard for me, but I had to let it go. And I had to say, you know what? I'm going to let her bump her head, and I'm going to let her learn the hard way. But even in deciding to let her bump her head and let her learn the hard way, I'm not going to drop her. I'm not going to drop her, and because part of the thought was we put a lot of effort into getting you here. I'm not going to let you mess this thing up now for your own sake, for my sake. You're going to do the work. You're going to learn, because we talked about this. If you want to do this, you're going to make sure, and you're going to complete it, and you're going to do well. And so I had to decide. I'm going to let her bump her head, but I'm not going to drop her. I'm not going to just say, the rest of the semester is yours. I'm going to let you fail this class so you can see this stuff for yourself. I'm not going to let her bump her head in that kind of way. I want you to have the experience to know what it is, so it's not just mommy's telling you. You've learned for yourself. I would that you learn it by being told, but if you just really got to learn it the hard way. My mama used to tell me, right, a hard head makes for a soft behind, right? So she want to be hard-headed, I got to let her do it. So I let her do it, and she didn't do good, and she was not in a good mood. She was really upset about it. So of course I take this as a teaching moment, and so does my husband. So we both talk to her individually, and we talk to her together and let her know, hey, you know why you failed that test? You know why you did a bad job on that test? She didn't fail it. She got a grade, but it wasn't a really good grade. And we let her know, because you didn't listen. Because you thought that you were doing better than you were. You thought that your success was all on you. You're looking at these other people and seeing that, you know, I'm getting things done before them. I'm getting better grades before them. And you thought higher of yourself than you ought to. Instead of listening to us saying, hey, these people got full-time jobs. You don't. They got full-time responsibility. You don't. They don't have a parent who's making sure that they're on top of their stuff, grading their stuff, making sure they're getting it turned in at the right time and getting good grades. You do. So don't compare yourself. be the best you. Your goodness and how great you are has nothing to do with anybody else but yourself. And she didn't want to hear it. She thought she was getting them A's all by herself. She thought she was doing good all by herself. So we let her go out all by herself, and she bombed it, and she didn't like it. Now you would think you do it one time, you learned the lesson. Well, not my baby girl. She had to do it twice. And she rushed through something. I kept saying, don't rush through these tests. Read everything carefully. She rushed through another test because she thought she had it. She was done. She had an hour, 2 hours to do the test. And I can't remember which one it was. It was 1 or 2. And she did it in about 10, 15 minutes. And she didn't do too well on the test. She was not happy about it. So I asked her, how long did it take you? Not, 12, 15 minutes, somewhere in between there. So how much time did you have? She told me. I said, and it's open book, huh? Yep. I'm thinking to myself, so why did you miss a question? So I asked her. She was like, well, I thought I knew the answers, and I da-da-da-da-da. I said, yeah, you thought higher than yourself than you ought to, huh? You're still thinking that, you got it all down because you've been getting all these A's and these hundreds, and you're blowing things out the water. And so you think that it's all by yourself and it's you, and you didn't have to listen to the instruction that I gave you. So sometimes, you guys, we're going to have to let our kids learn some hard lessons in life. My goal is to let them learn the hard lessons, but even though they're learning it, it's under my umbrella. It's in a protected environment so that they're not really hurting themselves. Now, do I let her do this all the time? No. I let her do it a couple of times so that she can learn for herself. And now she listens just a little bit more. So when I say move, she moves. And when I say don't move, she don't move. When I give advice and wisdom from a person who's been there and who has more experience than she does, she's more apt now to listen to me during her classes. So she's taking the time on the test like I'm telling her. She's not asking to take tests quicker than she needs to, and she's slowing down and she's taking the time that she needs to take on it. So sometimes in our parenting, we're going to face these kind of things. I share with you how I face it. Maybe something in there can help you when it's your turn with your kids. But I would always suggest that you let them learn under your umbrella and not just drop them and let them go out there and learn the hard way and do something that may mess up their future. This is one class. I'd rather her learn it now at the beginning than for her to go out and fail a few classes and decide that school isn't for her because she didn't have the instruction that she needed or the covering that she needed. I'm going to provide that covering in it, but within the covering, I'm still going to let her learn some hard lessons so that in the end, she'll listen and pay attention to me. So I hope something in there was helpful for you. Until next time, have a great homeschooling journey. Bye.